Today is June 21st. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we're going to continue Chapter 10 to Employers, page 141 and 142. Out of the personal story, Listening to the Wind, we're going to read the bottom of 468 today. And out of the 12 and 12, we are going to continue our journey through tradition number 10 by reading the bottom of page 177. So with all that, my friends, hope you're doing well this morning. It's another beautiful day, another beautiful morning. We have a brand new set of 24 hours ahead of us, and it's up to us today who we decide to be. So let's go ahead and press on and get to the good stuff. So in yesterday's reading into Employers, we got to the point where we learned a little bit more about working with these employees that might be alcoholic, and how oftentimes they're pretty smart people that are just suffering from this dangerous disease. As a matter of fact, I love on the bottom of the page, I think it's, 139. I look at the alcoholic in your organization as many times illuminating. Is he not usually brilliant, fast-thinking, imaginative, and likable? So aside from the alcohol, are we all not just brilliant, fast-thinking, imaginative, and likable? I'd like to think so. I guess I better keep working my program. But anyways, so we're going to be reading pages 141 and 142 today. That is not to say that all alcoholics are honest and upright when not drinking. Of course, that isn't so, and such people often may impose on you. Seeing your attempt to understand and help, some men will try to take advantage of your kindness. If you are sure that your man does not want to stop, he may as well be discharged. The sooner, the better. You are not doing him a favor by keeping him on. Firing such an individual may prove a blessing to him. It may be just the jolt that he needs. I know, in my own particular case, that nothing my company could have done would have stopped me. For as long as I was able to hold my position, I could not possibly realize how serious my situation was. Had they fired me first, had they taken the steps to see that I was presented with the solution contained in this book, I might have returned to them 6 months later a well man. But there are many men who want to stop, and with them you can go far. Your understanding treatment of their cases will pay dividends. Perhaps you have such a man in mind. He wants to quit drinking and you want to help him, even if it be only a matter of good business. You know more about alcoholism. You can see that he is mentally and physically sick. You're willing to overlook his past performances. Suppose an approach is made something like this. State that you know about his drinking and that it must stop. You might say you appreciate his abilities and would like to keep him, but cannot if he continues to drink. A firm attitude at this point has helped many of us. Next, he can be assured that you do not intend to lecture, moralize, or condemn. That if this was done formerly, it was because of misunderstanding. If possible, express a lack of hard feeling toward him. At this point, it might be well to explain alcoholism, the illness. Say that you believe he is a gravely ill person. With this qualification, being perhaps fatally ill, does he want to get well? You ask because many alcoholics, being warped and drugged, do not want to quit. But does he? Will he take every necessary step, submit to anything to get well, to stop drinking forever? If he says yes, does he really mean it? Or down inside does he think that he's fooling you? And that after rest and treatment he'll be able to get away with a few drinks now and then? We believe a man should be thoroughly probed on these points. Be satisfied he is not deceiving himself or you. Whether you mention this book is a matter of your discretion. If he temporizes and still thinks that he can ever drink again, even beer, he might as well be discharged after that next bender, which, if an alcoholic, he's almost certain to have. He should understand that emphatically. Either you are dealing with a man who can and will get well, or you are not. If not, why waste the time with him? This may seem severe, but it is usually the best course. After satisfying yourself that your man wants to recover and that he will go to any extreme to do so, you may suggest a definite course of action. For most alcoholics who are drinking, or who are just getting over a spree, a certain amount of physical treatment is desirable, even imperative. The matter of physical treatment should, of course, be referred to your own doctor. Whatever the method, its object is to thoroughly clear the mind and body of the effects of alcohol. In competent hands, this seldom takes long nor is very expensive. Your man will fare better if placed in such a physical condition that he can think straight and no longer craves liquor. If you propose such a procedure to him, it may be necessary to advance the cost of the treatment, but we believe that it should be made plain that any expense will later be deducted from his pay. It is better for him to feel responsible. And in the personal story, Listening to the Wind, we'll go ahead and finish off the chapter today. There's only 2 paragraphs left, so we'll just go ahead and I guess I'm going to break my little schedule here. So thankfully, our narrator is in much, much better sorts now, but it wasn't easy. You know, when she first came in, the thing that got her through the door and kept her wanting to come back was the love and the fellowship, which is a powerful thing. So finally, it says here, at 22 months of sobriety, I was finally able to complete an honest inventory. And the 5th step enabled me to see my part in my resentments and fears. I love the last few lines. You know, she talks about how concerned she was with what other people thought of her, which, you know, who could blame her for feeling that way? I came to understand that behavior, opinions, and thoughts of others were none of my business. The only business I was concerned with was my own. And then right here we get a little reference to the 7th step prayer. I asked my higher power to remove from me everything that stood in the way of my usefulness to him and others, and help me build a new life. Beautiful stuff. So we're going to go ahead and finish this story beginning on page 468 today. I met my current husband in an AA meeting. Together we carry the message to Indian people on the reservations all over the country. I started at the 5th grade level in school when I had been sober nearly 2 years. After college, I started my own business. Today, I publish the books I write. Our daughter was born during my early sobriety, and she is in high school now. She has never seen her mother take a drink. Our family has returned to the spirituality of our ancestors. We attend sweat lodges and other ancient ceremonies with our people on sovereign native land. We take panels of sober natives into Indian boarding schools and institutions and share about recovery. My life is filled with honesty today. Every action, word, prayer, and 12-step call is an investment in my spiritual freedom and fulfillment. I am in love and proud to be a Native American. At an AA meeting on an Indian reservation, I heard the words, "Sobriety is traditional." I stand at the top of the sacred mountain, and I listen to the wind. I have a conscious daily contact with my Creator today, and He loves me. Everything is sacred as a result of the 12 steps and the love and recovery in Alcoholics Anonymous. Wow, beautiful stuff. Thank God I read ahead. This is great. So I can't wait to come back to this in a minute. And finally, my friends, we are on tradition number 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. And we are on the bottom of page 177 today. Maybe this sounds as though the alcoholics in AA had suddenly gone peaceable and become one great big happy family. Of course, this isn't so at all. Human beings are what we are. We squabble. Before we leveled off a bit, AA looked more like one prodigious squabble than anything else, at least on the surface. A corporation director who had just voted a company expenditure of $100,000 would appear at an AA business meeting and would blow his top over an outlay of $25 worth of needed postage stamps. Disliking the attempt of some to manage a group, half its membership might angrily rush off to form another group more to their liking. Elders, temporarily turned Pharisee, have sulked. Bitter attacks have been directed against people suspected of mixed motives. Despite their din, our puny rows never did AA a particle of harm. They were just part and parcel of learning to work and live together. Let it be noted, too, that they were almost always concerned with ways to make AA more effective, how to do the most good for most alcoholics. All right, so we will conclude the reading in the 12 and 12 today. For the sake of time, once again, I'd like to go back to a couple things real fast. So 2 employers, one thing that was said, so say you're an employer and one of your employees is an alcoholic and they don't seem to be receptive to the idea of getting help. Unfortunately, as the big book says, you may need to let them go, but don't blame yourself, because that might be the best thing for that person, because maybe that is the final straw for them to realize they have a problem. And once we realize, a problem, we take that first step. There's the foundation right there of, hey, my life is unmanageable and I'm powerless over alcohol. Some great stuff there. And then listening to the wind. Oh my goodness, beautiful ending to our story here. I mean, since we slowed down our pace, we've really gotten to, at least for me, I guess, I've really gotten to feel the pain of everything this woman's been through. So she meets her husband in AA. And right here, together we carry the message to Indian people on reservations all over the country. So the God of her understanding used her to help so many others in a unique way. Now she writes her own books. She has a daughter that has never seen her mother take a drink. They take panel of sober natives into Indian boarding schools and institutions and share about recovery. And I love the last paragraph. Her life is filled with honesty now. Every action, word, prayer, and 12-step call, I love this, is an investment in my spiritual freedom and fulfillment. So my friends, if you've been sober for a little while, every time we pray, every time we try to serve others, even if it's just a kind word or something, every 12-step call that we make, we're putting another coin in that piggy bank of sobriety, spiritual freedom. Sometimes I forget that even doing this podcast, that this is an investment in my own sobriety. And I've said it many times, maybe the only person I'm actually helping is me. But if you're listening as well, that's just icing on the cake, and I thank you so much for that. The lady continues, I am in love and proud to be a Native American. I stand at the top of the sacred mountain, and I listen to the wind. I can relate to that. For me, I sit on top of my bench facing Newton Creek with my higher power, and I try to listen. What would you have me do today, Father? I have a conscious daily contact with my Creator today, she says, and He loves me. I can relate to that as well. Everything is sacred as a result of the 12 steps and the love and recovery in Alcoholics Anonymous. Everything is sacred. Wow. Whole new outlook on life right there. So if you are sober today, I hope that you have a whole new outlook on your life as well. I'm sure you do. And I'm also sure that those who love you are very proud of you today. So let's just keep on keeping on. And if we're given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.